Hello and welcome to Self-Indulgence, the webcast where two librarians get lit about literature.
We're coming straight from Pioneer Memorial Library where the books are magical and so are the readers.
This is our very first episode with a guest. Let's welcome Garrett. Thanks for being a part of our adventure today, Garrett.
Yeah, thanks for having me on today, guys.
We are so happy to have Garrett here, and what better way to kick things off than by escaping to fantasy worlds beyond Middle-earth. We're talking dragons, dream realms, and magic systems so cool that make Gandalf look basic.
Of course, we love Tolkien, but today we're exploring fantasy worlds that come after him or right alongside him or way, way off in another universe entirely. Let's go.
Let's go. Welcome, Garrett. Your
So-
very first appearance.
I know.
This.
Most of the time I'm behind the camera instead of in front of it.
Yes.
So this is the first.
Now you know who helps do a little more setup here. Well, he's got a face.
Yep.
We always usually have some assistants here. So thank you, Garrett, again for joining our show.
Not
here.
a problem.
And as we said, we are going to dive into some wonderful fantasy, creative, wonderful worlds here. So we're going to start with a big question, Garrett, here. We are starting big. What's one fantasy world you absolutely got lost in?
So I think as a kid, one of the biggest ones that I really got lost in was the Harry Potter universe.
Yes.
And I actually did one of those quizzes on one of the Harry Potter websites and found out like, what's my house? Like, what's my Patronus? What kind of wand do you have? And all that stuff. Another one would probably be the Game of Thrones series. That's another big one, all the dragons and magic involved in that. And another one I'd say is the Star Wars universe. That's big nerd about that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That is right. That is right. We are okay. We also appreciate the Star Wars series here. I was like, it continues to keep growing, even though, you know, it's what they call old school, right? But it just like they brought it up here to the now.
Mhm.
They've come up with so many new even shows, including the books, you know, it's just continued to grow. So I think, yes, if you're not one fan yet, I mean, there's time for you to get into it. I mean,
So much time.
you don't have to go all the way back. You can start here now. But once you start, you're going to want to go all the way back to find out like all of the history and stuff. So I think it's amazing. What about you, Katie? Do you got any?
Well, I've already mentioned one of the worlds that I got lost in was Dune.
Yes.
By Frank Herbert. And another one obviously is Tolkien, Lord of the Rings. I definitely got lost into that world as well, with it being such an allegory. Well, it can mean so many different things to so many different people. For me, at the time, it was an allegory of the Bible and Christ and all of that. And so there's so much to gain out of each of these, and each world is an allegory of our own world. And so
I think that's what connects us, right? Like to the book itself, to the reader, like, yeah, you can see yourself in that world. Yes, like I could totally live in that world.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna agree with Garrett here. That was also my big, that was my big thing as well, was yes, I did, like, I loved watching all the Harry Potter stuff, but it was also more of the adult thing would be Games of Thrones, you know, that whole series there as well. It was just something about dragons and you know, dragon eggs and anything to do with dragons. I feel like, yeah, I'm so for it. I want a pet dragon myself. Like, where do I hatch these things? And you have stuff like that for kids where you actually
I think there are some toys out there that are made for kids that you have to pour like some stuff on an egg.
Yes, and then
it kind of makes a sound and then something just hatches and it's like, okay, cool.
yes, exactly. Or they have like these potions where you can do magic potions in the cauldron. And I'm like, listen, I don't know what them kids, but I don't know what the kids are into, but I'm into it. So
it's probably made for like
remember Christmas.
Little kids,
You
but
like these things as well.
adults too get excited about it, as you can clearly tell.
Yes, exactly. It's like, listen, fantasy world, absolutely. We're gonna be here. If you see us here, no judgment. We're gonna have our egg hatching and our cauldrons going.
Yeah, especially around Halloween.
Especially this is the season. My goodness.
That kind of brings us into our next question of, do you think fantasy authors today are still in Tolkien's shadow, or have they broke free with all the dragon stuff? Because I mean, there was dragons in Tolkien's world,
Right.
but there are authors that have taken it to the next level, I think.
And I think something that I've noticed with how Timothy Zahn, who's the author of this particular Star Wars series, they've kind of used Tolkien's, I guess, basic, trying to think of the word, I think it's like outline or footprint of the fantasy world, and kind of took a couple of things from it, but then made their entire own universe out of it. So I think they're kind of using it as kind of like a stepstone. It's like, okay, so this is what's great about this. How can I take this and just make it fantastic in its own right kind of way?
Mhm.
So that's how I thought of it.
Yeah, I can see that. And actually, as the comparison that you're doing here, I was reading that Tread of Angels by Rebecca Roanhorse, which that reminded me a lot of like the Star Wars,
Mhm.
honestly, like to me, because it had a lot of that feel like of that those types of worlds that were built in there. And so then that's probably why I was like, okay, I dig the way it was kind of written out, and she's got a bunch of other books out, but I do like that. Yes, I get we have our main gut people again that we've been following, but the new authors that have come out have definitely had a good build on those kinds of worlds and creating something different that'll still entrap you into the worlds that they have created as well. And you're like,
Mhm.
okay, so if I get, shipped out into another world and I've been outcasted from this one, yeah, send me to that one because I can probably survive there. Probably. Nah, but that's questionable.
No, it is like they're using the footsteps of the past authors, like
Yes.
you have Anne McCaffrey who had that world of dragons, and now you have Rebecca Yarros who has
Yes.
her dragon series. And so it's like everybody's building on top of everybody else, but yet making it their own.
Yes,
And
making
unique
it
to
their
stand
own.
the test of time.
Yeah, so it's like, because, of course, like, why can't you have dragons? Of course, it's not just for that one specific
Right.
author, right? But what is it special about your dragons in your series? And that's kind of what they're doing is, right, building like what makes yours different and apart from the other ones. And that's really the whole part of incorporating somebody else's stories. Like you said, it's like just stick a footprint and you just take little pieces out of something and you continue to build your own world into whatever wonderful dimension or planet we're on now. So I think that's pretty.
Yes.
That's pretty great. Yeah, that's amazing. Next question, Garrett, and here's the hard ones. You had to go on a quest. Which two fantasy characters are you taking with you?
So I think I'm gonna go branch out a little bit. I'm gonna pick from two different universes.
Okay.
So the first one I'm gonna take is Grand Admiral Thrawn. He's basically this military strategist who can basically plan like 20 steps ahead of enemies during a fight. So I feel like that would be a good partner to have. The other one, I think I'm gonna go with Legolas from Lord of the Rings, because combat. He's an archer, and I feel like he's pretty good with the bow. So I feel like that would be my dream team for Fantasy Quest.
Well, that's awesome. So where are you going on your fantasy? What world are you guys thinking you're living in here?
Honestly,
Which out of your book, like which world would you be in with these two quest guys? That's totally off topic here. Well, not topic.
well, kind of not off topic, but kind of we're branching out. I'd have to say a combination of the Game of Thrones and the House of the Dragon
Oh my gosh, yeah, that would be very
That would be
interesting.
good.
Yeah.
because I feel like with the dragons and everything that we've kind of been talking about, dragons.
I
Who
know.
does not like dragons?
Or
Exactly.
ice. Or ice.
Exactly.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
that works.
Yes.
So what about you, Vi?
So I'm like, I put some characters down here, and I know again we're talking. I've got Hermione, right?
Hermione.
Sorry, we do that all the time.
It's okay.
We create our own way of pronouncing it. Same.
Yep.
Apologies.
Same thing.
I've got her only because she's also like one of those, like it's kind of like a side
The
character.
genius.
Yes, but she's so smart. Yeah, and her spell casting, great again, super smart. And then I have Aragon. Because again, ranger and warrior. We need somebody who can
Exactly.
be the front of the line, be like, listen.
I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't help, but I'd probably be more on the back end of stuff.
I mean, I'd need
Yeah.
some of these skills to be taught, but if I was in the place of where I
Exactly.
needed a lot of help, I would
Like, I could
definitely
go
need a
through
lot of
some
brawn.
Sure.
muscle to help me out and somebody to be casting the spell and just like, protect me, protect me.
Yeah.
I want to just continue going on with you, but I need your
I
help.
need help. Please.
If we were in a video game, I would definitely be the guy that gets shot first. So, you know, whatever,
Same.
or the dragon, getting eaten because, I'm like, what skills? That's something I think I would have to think
Mhm.
about. What skills would I want in said worlds, fantasy
Mhm.
worlds? There's so many, right? That you would want. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I would want to have that. I would totally want to do that, but we can't have all of them, can we?
Maybe.
I mean, we could make our own universe and basically just give our character whatever powers we want.
Like if every person you met, you can like consume a little of whatever,
Exactly.
something out of their power. That would
Yeah.
be great.
Mhm.
Would just be this huge, powerful, whatever dragon person. Who knows?
Sorcerer, wizard,
Yeah. Flying carpets, brooms. I don't know.
it could be whatever.
Herbologist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To know, like Strider, in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that's like
He knew the different healing herbs and stuff like that.
Yes, he did. He
Yeah.
knows how to use the land you live in, right?
Right.
It's that thing. You got two characters?
I do. I debated, and it's strange the two that I picked, but my first one would be Paul from the Dune series, because he has foresight and knowledge, and he can see the future and he
Mhm.
knows which path to take. He also has the voice, so he can make people obey him just by speaking. And he has brilliant ability in battle. And so I did pick him, but then my other character, and it's a little odd, but Aslan from the C.S. Lewis series, The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, and then The Magician's Nephew. He's pretty much considered God in those series as the allegory goes. And for me, it was more protection, I think, and
Interesting.
wisdom and encouragement, and again, foreknowledge, because he knew everything that was going to happen. He knew the character of the different people, and he guided them in the. So I think I was just in a different mind space when I picked
No,
mine, but
like in the world, like in the world
I
that we're.
love those two
creating.
characters because they're so encouraging to me.
Yes, that's all, like in the world that we're trying to create here in our
Like I
own
want to
world.
be with people that are.
We're gonna have to go to Katie because apparently she's gonna be the wise wisdom.
Exactly.
And that's where they are.
We have problems, let's go talk to
Yes,
Katie,
it's like we have
'cause
to travel.
we're lost.
Go through go through Volcano Island and then just to pass to get to the wise ones so they can give us the knowledge of what we
that
are
we need to
seeking.
get stuff done.
That is who we're going with. See, these things are all important, Katie. In the world that we build, it can't always just be brawn, right? We can't just be fighting everybody all the time. We need to know why we're fighting. Those important reasons. I mean, I would assume. We got, okay, next question here. We got structured magic like Brandon Sanderson or mysterious magic like the Night Circus. What do we think about magic in books? Do we think that we need to have the magic in the books? Because I feel like there is some sort of built-in.
System almost,
Yeah, because I mean,
Whether it be the Force or the,
right?
there's.
Well, and I kind of had to look both of those up because I haven't read any of Brandon's books or the Night Circus. But kind of what I thought would be cool for my own magic system, whatever universe, would be basically wordless spell casting, which is basically kind of in the few anime that I've watched and cartoons and whatnot. They basically just hold out their hand, visualize what they want to happen, and it just happens.
Okay.
So essentially, I mean, you do have to, I think with that, have to have like a very creative imagination. Otherwise, it wouldn't work out that well. But and also, in my opinion, with that, you would appear as this like all-powerful wizard or sorceress or something like that.
Yeah.
So
I kind of like that wordless thing that you're talking about. Yeah, because at the
Yeah.
same time, somebody's not stealing your spells, because that's really what happens, right? When we do have magic in our stories, that happens to be something that gets taken, whether it's a book or
right.
so yeah.
And I did think they did cover this in, I don't know if they did or not, in the Harry Potter books.
Mhm.
Some of the more advanced wizards, they don't really have to say the spell. rather, they just have to flick their wand or something like that.
Yes,
Have intention.
you're correct.
Like,
You are
So-
right.
that would be like my go-to magic system.
Yeah, that's great.
That is great.
Yeah, I think that would be
It
wonderful.
reminds
Just
me of Merlin a little bit.
yes,
Yeah, because
you
he
just,
could
like,
do that
You just
too.
throwing things and you're just
Without
again
speaking.
without, yeah, and you're
Mhm.
just creating whatever it is you're creating without saying what you're creating. It's like making a recipe without instructions.
Right.
We are just
Winging it.
We like that. We live in the winging era.
Yeah. Most definitely do.
That's right. How about a fantasy world? If you're living in a fantasy world, who are you? This is what we're kind of leading up to a little bit. I'm still,
I think for me, I'd kind of go along the lines of either like an all-powerful sorcerer, because I feel like that would be a nice job to have.
okay, we can't have Jafar though.
Well, I'm not gonna be like evil like Jafar.
All right, just
I'm like,
sure.
like Merlin, like a different version.
All right, Merlin's good.
All
Merlin.
power ups, yeah.
Or that has he has this like never-ending collection of spells, enchantments and whatnot, or just like a magical librarian with this like never-ending collection.
Oh, that would be
That
cool.
would be
And
cool.
then you could be like, okay, you need a book on this. Bam, it just appears.
Mhm.
That would be awesome.
Mhm.
In my
That would-
opinion.
We could use that here.
You know,
I mean, not just in the fantasy world, but, like,
that book and we just, and it's coming
And then-
for us, right?
Yes.
be like, here, and
And
then,
it's fast reading. Having like, when
Yes, that would be
the words are,
another-
like just spinning around you, kind of a,
like a speed reader.
yes, and you're like
That'd be nice.
absorbing it all. That would be awesome. That would.
Photographic memory too would probably be another. good
Oh my
skill to
gosh, I
have.
think, yeah, I'm like, if I could have a power now in this world, that would be one of them.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
So that I could just remember everything that we are and taking
Yeah.
with our eyes. Yeah, that would be.
Most definitely.
That would be great. I don't have a set answer for me personally. I feel like I have too many things that I would want, which is terrible. Because then I'm just gonna be, again, I'm gonna be left behind because I haven't figured out who I am. I just watched a Smurfs movie recently with my nieces and there's this no name character.
Mhm.
That's who I feel like I am. I don't know who I am yet.
Well, hey, if you
I'm
need to
still
find
trying.
out,
It's like
just
you got
come to
lots
the
of
library and figure it out.
No,
I
like,
can help you.
Let me grab that. This one, this one, eventually.
Mhm.
We'll come back to that. Maybe later on, I can write later, like, okay, I think I found what I want to be. When I grow up into my fantasy world,
What do I want to be?
what do I want to be? Yes. So let me come back to that one later. How about you,
Well,
Katie?
I think I would actually want to just live alone, live off the land and, know the land and be able to heal people with herbs and
Are you
I
living in a mushroom
probably
house?
would be, I'd live in a mushroom house.
That's what I think.
A thatched roof cottage, garden.
Yes.
Kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
Like Hobbit style, right? This cute little
A
in
heart.
a tree.
Like a hearth witch probably is what they'd call me, but somebody that would know the land, be able to heal people with herbs and spices, just different things.
Recipe.
Yes.
So we get,
Yes.
go to her shop.
That's-
Well, hey, if we need knowledge on something, we
Knowledge
could go to
of the
her.
land.
But if we also needed to get healed because we went on a quest and got injured,
See?
let's go back to Katie.
Yes, it's like, we've got to go see
I
that
just
way.
want something peaceful. That's what.
She's like, I want to just live where it's.
I'd be
in
like
nature.
Xerxes until somebody comes and attacks me and then I'm after it. Then they're cracking them.
And she's really cracking the whips.
I turned them all into pigs. Yeah. And we're having bacon for dinner. Katie got it. Do not mess with her, although she is gentle and wise.
Let's not get on her bad side. That,
Don't mess with her hut,
no,
because we're gonna have some problems.
no bueno.
Okay, we've got what about some hidden gems, some books that we consider hidden gems or starter picks, if we have any of those for our audience here that we want, like if you're just starting off in this kind of a world, we want to be able to provide them maybe something we want to start them off with.
So something that I thought was pretty cool, I think I had to have one of our other coworkers order this for me. It's the first, well, really, I've read both Star Wars Thrawn series that we have, but this first one, Star Wars Thrawn by Timothy Zahn. This kind of goes back and gives you kind of like a little backstory of who Grand Admiral Thrawn was before he became Grand Admiral. he started out as kind of like this little exile on this one planet before they discovered him, and then basically kind of tricked him a little bit, and then he stowed away on their ship, and then kind of started interacting more with the Empire and stuff like that. So if you're looking for something, I mean, it's very sci-fi, very Star Wars-esque, but I really liked it because you don't really get an introduction into Thrawn until like Star Wars Rebels, which is that animated cartoon. And then they did bring him in, I think it was towards the end of season 1 of the new show Ahsoka on Disney Plus, which they actually did bring the voice actor who voiced him on Star Wars Rebels, and they actually casted him as his own character.
That is really,
Which I thought was really cool.
yeah.
So then it does continue on into 2 more books to make it kind of like a trilogy type thing. But Timothy also wrote the second series, Star Wars Thrawn Ascendancy. And this kind of goes, there's this like ancient threat that's reappeared in the universe. And so they have to kind of team up with the military fleet that from his homeworld, Thrawn's homeworld, and also the Empire, and then kind of the mixed politics of all that stuff. So being a Star Wars nerd, that's like.
So you think that for somebody who's gonna start off on the Star Wars Thrawn is something that they should pick up?
I mean, if they want to know more about him, yes.
I think he's a character that you don't hear often about. Again, like we always have those really popular
Yes.
ones that you hear about all the time. So for even me personally, if I didn't know, watched it as well, we're here, we talk about it occasionally, but I didn't know that. And so it's nice to hear another main character, because there is a lot of main characters. It's just that all the stories tend to focus on just the one.
Just the one rather than kind of branching
Yeah, than
out.
everybody, because I'm like, they didn't all just go to battle by themselves. Obviously, they have all these people that are part of this community. So it is awesome to be able to pick that up as well. So if you're, again, go with Eric's choice here to pick up some Thrawn.
So we do have number 3 in the first trilogy, and then we do have all 3 in the second one. I do think we probably could try and get the other 2 in that first trilogy. Katie would probably be a good person to go to, because I think we would have to eventually interlibrary loan that. That's
Okay.
possible.
Still available,
But
we
it's
can still
available.
find it, yeah, I'm like, if we don't have it, like before, if we don't have it, does not mean we cannot find it for you. Just give us a little time and we'll work on getting that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then it
Great.
might also be available on Hoopla, Blibby, or the Sunflower Library app as well, in case you want to do like an ebook or audiobook option.
Yeah.
So we can always look it up.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, and that's great, because then again, we have other options if you aren't just a
Yes.
book reader, which we absolutely get. A lot of people have gone to audio in our crazy busy lives. Sometimes that's what we have to do, and that is okay as well.
Yes.
Sometimes we're doing both. Sometimes you
Yes.
have to, maneuver both. You're either listening to it and sometimes have a book in your hand as well.
Mhm.
So that is great options that we have available for you guys as well. And I didn't know if you wanted to add any.
Well, I was gonna say, if you're getting, new into fantasy and authors, a good one would be Rebecca Yaros's Fourth Wing.
Mhm.
Or, if you really like high fantasy and a lot of characters, we, again, we do not carry the first 3, books, because we kind of came late to the series. But this Brandon Sanderson series, it's actually called Stormlight Archives series. And the first book is The Way of the Kings. Now, it's really thick, obviously, but it is well worth it. It is full of different characters, and it just throws you into a different world. And I would say he's a massive world builder, that Brandon Sanderson. We
Right,
brought him up
another-
earlier.
Yes, that would be great.
Another person, if you like more on the fantasy side, she does both Norse mythology and then more magic stuff, and that'd be Daniela L. Jensen. This is the first book in her more Norse mythology series of Fate Inked in Blood. And this is a duology. She'd be a good one to get into too. Along the same lines as you had said,
Yes.
Rebecca Roanhouse.
Mhm.
So again, you can write to us and tell us, if you forget, the authors that we suggested, or just come to us at the library too,
Yeah.
because we have several more
Yeah,
different authors. But I would say those would be some really good ones, depending on what you're after, whether you want high fantasy or the world building, or, Inky
Yes.
Jemison is another one.
oh, yes.
Who wrote the Broken Earth series. There's 3 of them, and that's another one, high fantasy. So I'm sorry if I stole some of your
No,
words.
no, I wanted to make sure that
Sorry.
no, you're good. I have Project Hail Mary in here,
Mm.
which I know that's a popular one, I believe. So if you, and again, and if you guys have any series that you guys want us to know about or have us kind of carry, we absolutely
Yes.
appreciate the input. We also have it on our website. If you guys have books that you want us to try to grab in the future, please go ahead and send us that little quick email that we now have online, right? That we built a page online so you can request any kind of books as well as our ILL online as well. Well, I mean, we could talk fantasy worlds all this time. I mean, we
Oh,
could
yeah.
build a lot of stuff, but as usual, we have a short amount of time. We want to get you guys super
Yeah.
bored with just us talking about our fantasy world. So,
that wraps up our very first guest episode of Shelf Indulgence. Thanks for going on this library quest with us.
if you guys had fun, follow us whenever you guys when you need to get your bookish fix, and come back next time for reading slumps and how to break them. That is going to be our next episode. So
Until then.
Looking forward.
yeah. Read well, roam far, and don't forget your library card.